Welcome, Falcons, to our virtual career week. We are here with our special guest, Arash Madani. Mr. Madani comes to us from Sportsnet, all the way from Ontario. He is a co-host of a radio show for Sportsnet. As well, he works on television and has covered Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, the National Football League. He's gone to Super Bowls, World Series for Major League Baseball, and he's also gone to the Olympics to cover the Olympics for all of different events that Canada has participated in. Mr. Madani, I would like to welcome you to Forest Hills School.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you. We'll get right into the questions. And today we have 5 questions for you, and all 5 questions come from our middle school students today. What inspired you to choose your career?
Well, Paul, I think I was about 12 years old when I realized that I wasn't going to be playing in the NBA or be the #1 player on the ATP Tour winning Wimbledon. So I had to figure out what the heck I wanted to do. But I'm a massive sports fan, played a bunch growing up. I grew up in Truro, Nova Scotia, fellow Maritimer. And I kept watching sports and I saw the people broadcasting and announcing the games. I'm like, wait a minute, they're on the court, they're on the field. This looks like a lot of fun. You get to interview the athletes, you get to tell some stories about them. And it was kind of then I said to myself, hey, why don't you look into doing something like this? And once I got the bug, I've stuck with it the whole way.
Very interesting. And what is the favorite thing today about your job?
So much. For me, it's versatility and the variety of things that I get to do. I mean, you mentioned that, pre-COVID, 1 month I may be at the Olympics, the next month I may be covering tennis. I was at the NBA Finals last year when the Raptors won it all. I get to do some radio things. Getting to do a number of different things is something that really excites me, because not only do I get to work on different sports, but I get to work on different skill sets within my industry and really sharpen those up along the way and really work on improving them. So the variety is a big part of it. Plus, you're not just doing the same thing every day, which is really important for me.
Excellent. What are some roadblocks that you have faced along the way? And was there anything specific that was challenging to you that helped motivate you to grow further in your industry?
Well, there's roadblocks all over the place in this industry. I mean, 2 or 3 times along the way, I've lost my job, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. That's what you sign up for when you get into this industry. I've bounced around. Over a span of 18 months, I lived in Ottawa, Calgary, Winnipeg, and Toronto, just chasing, this industry, pursuing it, going from a TV job to a PR job to a radio job, back to a television job, moving different markets, kind of moving up the chain, if you will. And the challenge is you're on the road a lot. I mean, I spent 6 months of the year living out of a suitcase. Last year, pre-COVID, I was on 109 flights, spent 150 nights in a hotel. That's all part of it, and you get used to it, but it becomes a challenge. So, like every job, like every career, not everything is going to be smooth sailing, and there are definitely bumps along the road in this one too.
Excellent. That's a good message for our students at Forest Hills, that challenges will arise on a day-to-day basis, and it's important to continue to push through those challenges. What kind of support did you receive along the way?
So much. And that's why I try and kind of return the favor and pay it forward down the road. I mean, when I was first getting started in this industry, my first job was a summer high school student at the Truro Daily News back home in Nova Scotia. And our managing editor, Bill McGuire, took me under his wing, even though I didn't know it at the time. He helped me significantly. Even now, he still remains a sounding board. He's still somebody that I reach out to and I'm in touch with. When I was graduating from university, there were a couple of alum who had established themselves in the journalism field. One of them, the late Jim Farabee, who spent a lot of time with the Montreal Gazette. He would always reach out to me. He knew what I wanted to do. I was writing for the campus paper. When I graduated from university, he took me out for lunch, introduced me to some people in the city. And even when I got into it, Glenn McDonald is a producer I worked with who always had my back. And if you can find mentors, if you can find people who are going to guide you, give you advice, good and bad, that it's not just they'll light you up when it's time to do that. That's really significant, really important. And if you can take some of their advice and maneuver them to make it fit the way you are and how you go about it, that can be a real advantage. People who have been through this before have the experience, and if you take some of their thoughts and apply them to who and what you are and what you're doing, that can only help you.
Excellent. And our final question today, coming from our students: when working in a team environment, how important is it to get along with your colleagues and others working around you?
Well, it's just massive. It's massive. And you're not going to get along with everybody. Just like people in your class right now, everybody's not best friends with one another. But it's important to get along. It's important to be a good teammate. It's important to lift somebody up. It's important to lend a hand. All of those things are significant. You want to be known in the office as somebody who cares about somebody else and is willing to help somebody else. And all of those things are significant because ultimately you're on the same team. And I work with junior editors and junior production people and senior production people and senior associate producers. But we all ultimately are trying to get the end result, the end product, be the best that it could possibly be. And sometimes in positions, you're in leadership positions, and everybody's looking to see how you act and how you handle people and how you handle situations. And if you are able to lift others up, and if you're able to be a good person, that can only improve the whole working dynamic of the entire office.
Excellent. That fits along with our theme at Forest Hill School: be respectful, be responsible, be safe, and be kind. So those messages are important all over the world right now. That is the end of our questions today. I'll give you, Mr. Madani, an opportunity to say something to our students at Forest Hill School before we sign off.
Well, everybody, I know this is an unsettling time. I know there's a lot kind of going on in the world and you have no idea what's happening next, but understand that we will get through this. But I think one of the most important things that I have learned along the way is that being a good teammate is so important. Lending a helping hand to somebody, even though there's nothing in it for you, can lift that person up, can make that person better. Just a quick story. There's a guy that I worked with who was a coach in Major League Baseball, and he was a player back in the day. He was a backup catcher. And he played for the Minnesota Twins, and Kirby Puckett was their star player. And Sal Butera is the name of the guy. And Sal said that, I'm a bench player. And one day around the batting cage, Kirby Puckett, Hall of Fame star Kirby Puckett, there's a statue of him outside the ballpark in Minnesota, came over to him and said, "You know what the only difference between me and you is?" And Sal's like, "Well, you're a way better player than me, and you're a perennial all-star, and you make a lot more money than I do." Kirby said, "I just hit fourth in the order, so I have a better opportunity to get more numbers and cash runners in because I have people above me in the order who are better than the guys at the bottom of the order. That's the only difference." Sal said, when Kirby came over and said that to me, the confidence that gave me, that I belong here. I'm a big leaguer. I'm a teammate. They rely on me. He said, I can't even tell you how much, and you know what that does? That makes everybody better. So if you have an opportunity to make everybody else better, take that chance, take that opportunity, because you can make a real impact on people.
That is a great message for all our leaders at Forest Hill School, and hopefully our leaders see this and take it to heart and help pick everybody else up throughout the day. On behalf of the staff and students at Forest Hill School, we would like to thank Mr. Madani for joining us today, and good luck moving forward.
Okay, Paul. Thanks for having me, man.